It happened something today. I think it's August 14, 2022. I'm not sure, but about that. And maybe 15, August 15. But something happened today. That's why I start recording now a new episode. So very fast after that God was talking to me yesterday, and you heard what he was telling me, that he gonna lead me to my where he wants me to end up in, where to go on the whole walk I have done since year 2000, when he come and talked to me. And but it have been all my life, the walk, but the really focus walk started in year 2000. And today I don't really know how it happened, but I was sitting and I was thinking, when I have been out driving around a little, and I was thinking that when I come home I'm going to check out if I can get help in Israel for my pancreas, if there is like a research for it in Israel, so they want more people to come and they can do research, and because I have a special form of this with pancreas, and so I check it out. I look in some websites, and then I wrote to a research clinic and see if they answer me, and then suddenly this strange things that happened, that suddenly was it a website up in front of my eyes, and it was talking about to do Aliyah. I think it's, I don't know really how it pronounced, but I think it's Aliyah. It's returning for Jewish people, and that is what I should do for my ancestors to come back to Israel. I have talked about that, and it have not looked so good. It have seemed so very hard to get it, and it was like I had applied in wrong place on the internet, because this was different, and it I could fill in everything. It was question about my mother and my father, and I didn't know what to answer in the question, some of them, because I have not been raised Jewish. It's when people come and live in Sweden, they have to convert to Lutheran church, and then they have stayed there in generations. But that doesn't say they are Jewish, because they are in a Lutheran church. I know some Muslims that is in Lutheran church also. That have nothing to do where you're coming from, your roots, and where your DNA is coming from. It's have nothing with what you what you choose in these belief systems. Um, so I fill in it the paper application, and it's have been talking about some words, the important words to know for you. It's not about me. It's when I talk about me, is it because it's for you also when I'm talking, and it's some keywords in where you are walking, where is you should be, and that is not me saying it. It's the spirits that are saying that. It's God that are saying it. It's Jesus that are saying that. It's all is in heaven have said that to have faith and to not have fear. That they have said many times, because they know how much the devil tried to convince people that everything you hear in the air, and you don't, sometimes you don't see a body, but you hear someone talking to you, and you be scared that you have a mental issues, or that is demons in the air. That's what the devil have tried to get you to think when you hear, so they can't communicate with you, because the devil have placed fear in you, and other people that don't understand, and they have got the devil in them, they feed you with this fear, and then is one of the it's the biggest keyword is to have faith. It's not always that you see and hear those things that I'm talking about, what the spirit is coming here and talking. And I understand that it can be very hard when you don't see it, and you don't hear it on your own from the spirit. It's me that talking. But I am, when I'm talking from the spirit world, from heaven, they have, in that time, have they taken my body and used me to be a speaker for them, because they can't speak with words. It's telepathy, so they're sending words into my brain, and then I say that to you, because they don't have their voice. The spirit have not a voice, and it's of course God spirit was flying over this planet from the beginning, when it was dark and a void of many in the universe, and God was speaking, and his word created things. So he was speaking, but are you sure that he was speaking with his mouth? It can be that when God was speaking for creation, it was from telepathy he was talking. So it make me doubt when the spirit here, yes, spirit was talking like that the spirit have not a mouth because they don't have a body, and the spirit have to use us to talk, and that's why we can't see them either. I can see them, some part of it. It's very seldom I can see them fully, and it's not it's not their bodies, it's they showing me this body for me to understand who they are, why they are coming and talking. It's not that they have the body, they only create that with the words to me for me to see it. And so I fill in an application for return to Israel, and I paid a fee also. I did everything. I paid a fee for them to work with my application. That's what it. It's a major step I have taken today. Inside myself, I don't think the application will work. But I give it to God. I give it to heaven. If they want to come back to Israel, now it's on them, because I have filled in the application and I have paid a fee for these people to look at it, and I couldn't do write so much. My father died. My father was born 1908, and my mother 1910. So it's over 100 years ago, and there is no paper. And but it was a question that, are your grandfather Jewish? So I place it yes. I have to do these things because I fill in these things, and then heaven have to cover me with it and make them believe and accept it, that it's right what I have written on the application. And they it was about my profession, and there is also what should I say, because I have education in psychology, but I have not working in psychology, and I have worked for God in 22 years. So I place rabbi to the profession, but I didn't say where I have got the rabbi title from. I am ordained pastor, so I was thinking like it's like the same for me. And then I wrote in the end of the paper, was it some briefly saying something why I I was on. I wanted to stay in Israel, and then I write this what I'm talking about, that I do the return for my ancestors that from the start came from Israel, and by me uh, going back to Israel, that means that they also return to Israel. I wrote that because they are in my DNA. So they return to Israel. It doesn't matter where they are laying those waste, the body waste. It doesn't matter because they are with God. The spirit is in with God. So they are in, just now are they in heaven, but they will be placed into Israel of me doing this, and I can't do much more than what I did now. There is no man that want to marry me, so I can come into Israel in that way. In everything I have to work on my own. There is no one that helped me that is here on earth. There is not a woman, there is not a man that have helped me. And it seems like it should be like that until the end of it, when I live in Israel. I don't know how it's will be, how it gonna happen, but I have done my part. I have filled in the application, I have sent the money to pay for the application, and then everything is in God's will. So it's not my will, so I can't do more than what I have done. And no man have wanted to marry me, so that way it's closed. There's no one, and that want to help me in that way. So it's up to heaven and God, and I have faith. And God told me yesterday, and you heard it, that God say that I should not have any fear, that I will lose the way that is already been in God's plan for me and for this planet, that I am going there, and God will lead me and open the door. God will go before me and open doors. And what he was saying yesterday, it was this. I forget what he what I should say, but he say, don't have any fear that I should not enter into the promised land like Moses. He failed in that way, that he never come into the promised land. And it's a spirit here. So I'm wondering, because I was on my way to say that I will do an episode where I'm talking about the promised land, and I maybe do it, but the spirit that is on me, it want me to tell you some part of what is the promised land. And it's the state of mind, the promised land, is to rest, to live in peace with everything in the milk and honey, that smooth life and sweet life, and there is no evil things going on, and you can, the states of mind that you can relax where you are. It's not a land that you can see on the map. It's not about that. Moses never get that state of mind to could sit down and say, this is it. Like I say that about the golden calf in another episode, Moses, he listened too much to people around him. And that make him not stay in focus on what he really should do. And when I talking now about this, that he listened too much about what other people say around him. That also is a warning for you to learn to stay focused on what you are supposed to do, what is important in your life. You have to stay focused, because that focus bring you to that day when you are leaving the earth. And I have 2008 was I in deep down in the ground and in like a dry well, and on the left side was it a tunnel, a dark tunnel, a black tunnel. But I come to see, I didn't walk in the tunnel because the people wake me up, so I come to life again. But I could see inside the tunnel there was a bones. There was bone and arms in the walls, and I understand that it was people that didn't walk forward. They look on the side, and they go lost in the darkness. They never come to heaven. They are going missing in the darkness on the side of the tunnel. So I learned that it's very, very important to focus on the light in the tunnel. I saw far away there was a light, but it's gonna be it's the last time when the devil can take you, is when you go from earth to heaven. And if you have not done your work before you leaving, that you have a closer relationship with God, then you are okay. They're gonna help you through this tunnel, but it's for you that that don't have that connection. It's gonna be on the side where you're walking. They're gonna be your mother that have passed away before you. It can be your child, it can be your father, it can be a friend calling you, and you hear this person calling for you, and you look on the side to see where this person is, where the person are, and then you go into the darkness and never reach heaven. So that's what I understand now, because the Spirit is telling me, want to get me the knowledge about Moses, that he listened too much to people around him, and that's why he never come to the promised land. It's a little, I don't know so much the Bible, because God took away my ability to could read the Bible. But I think God promised Moses, so it must be very much why he never come to the promised land, because something failed there. Something was broken between God and him. That's why. But I'm not sure, so I will not explain it today. But this is a subject that I need to talk about in the next episode, and I will do it. I wanted only to tell you that I have applied and paid for to come to live in Israel. Thank you for listening. And God bless you.